Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Another word for the ops that I've been calling the ops are covenants, right? To me, they're all one and the same. None is different than the other. For in my situations, they're all working together. Covenant. Definition of covenant is a formal agreement, especially a written contract by which you agree to make regular payments to a charity. That's a definition. In brackets, ladies and gentlemen, it says in Judaism and Christianity, an agreement which brings about a commitment between God and his people. Now, need I say more when I say what's in the brackets, right? Judaism and Christianity is in the brackets. When I tell you to pay attention to what's in the brackets, ladies and gentlemen, the truth that's in the brackets is usually the truth. In this case, what is in the brackets is the false truth, okay? Now, between God and his people, right? For Christianity and Judaism is not God's people, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't know, it's not, right? Agree or pay by covenant, right? That is covenant. Now let's break down covenant, shall we? Coven, a group of witches who meet regularly. Now let's help this one out a little bit, right? A group of witches / warlocks who meet regular. Okay? Third word, ant. Ant, a small insect, usually wingless, living with many others in a highly organized group, performing a function. Now, when I told you I was going to break these down from oppositions and stuff like that, and covenants and stuff like that, it's simply because between the ops and the covenants, they are all working together for some reason to do the kid harm, right? Now, what does it say about a covenant? Something that you've made a contract with, correct? Okay. So there's a lot of people in this covenant that has made a contract, right? These people in question that have made these contracts with these people are kind of worried, say maybe nervous, right? Including, say, my family members, my friends, my lovers, and so forth, right? Have made this covenant contract, right? A contract none can't come out of, for they all agreed to, right? Would be the covenant, right? So when I speak of the covenant, I would be talking my whole building and the building that's attached to my building, right? My family members work with this covenant, right? I guess they thought I am not aware of this, but I am. They work with this covenant. And as for my landlord that I told you guys about, why she locked me out of the building, yeah, it's not because she's really pissed. She locked me out of that building for she didn't want me to see the rest of the covenant. But to her prevail, that's not going to work for her, for I already know the covenant is the family too, right? Heads up, ladies and gentlemen, a cousin of mine lives in the next building. Now, if you remember what I said about ants, it's simply this. Ants are a highly organized group performing as a function, right? Ants, right? So ladies and gentlemen, I don't really have to go anywhere for. I just stay in my home. And if I stay in my home, guess what happens? The formally functioned group has to what? Come to me. So when I chose to ignore all the family, guess what? The highly forming functioning group has to what? Come to me, right? So if I tell you I don't speak to my baby father, I don't like this person for anything, that means he should not be lingering no time around where I live. That means, see, he still comes to my building even when his kid is not so-called there, right? Now the question is, why do you come there? See, you can't come up with an excuse like you know somebody because you don't know nobody else there. I'm the one you know there. And that's why you need to come there. For as a functioning covenant, as a functioning group, as a contract signed with you all, you have to stay together and in covenant. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is why the landlord stopped me from coming in the building. It wasn't really because she was pissed. I think she thinks I think that, but let me give you the heads up. That's not why. It's because of the covenant of my family and friends and lovers and so forth. All have to congregate. Now I told you, the group itself has to work together to be sufficient to do their job. Now, you have to understand, the building by itself is not able to say, take me down like they would want to take me down, right? They need help. And the only way they're going to get help, ladies and gentlemen, is to get it through the closest people to me that would know me. I'll give you an example. This one's cool. So the other day, I was throwing out stuff because I'm forever discarding things in my house. And I threw away this wrapping paper of Marinas. You know those undershirts that you wear under your clothes? It's a men's undershirt. Now let me tell you, this covet, they work really fast. Very, very fast. Very, very fast. Downright where I just keep laughing. It's interesting how fast they work. So I would throw away this today. And by evening time, when I go outside on the plaza, what would happen is simply this. I would go onto the plaza and lo and behold, I would see someone wearing a car, a man sit in the back seat of his car. Guess what he's selling? Those undershirts and stuff that I just threw away. Now, the covenant, as I said, cannot work without assistance. Now, my family knows I wear these things, right? So they gotta assist in assisting the covenant, right? So I'll give you a heads up how they tend to play these little games. When they play these games and when this man is selling it out of his car, of course I went over to the car, sat down, talked to this man for a while, and he said, he comes here all the time. I go, you do, huh? I go, I've never seen you out here before. Right? But apparently he comes out here all the time. So I said, interesting to know. But ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't come out there. Now, how they need to draw my attention is simply this. He's got to be in a red car. For any other car, I won't notice. The car's got to be red. Did you ever wonder why all your the favorite franchises have red in their stuff? That is why, to draw to your eye, right? Anyways, this covenant, as I said, and how they actually work is very interesting. I kind of like how it works. I kind of like that they talk about themselves within these words. It's interesting. Don't you think so? If you like, comment on it, right? For I think it's very interesting. I'm so interested in the fact that the ants that have to play highly organized, for that's what they have to do. Have to be highly organized to pull off what you're doing, right? Down to the fact of, say, someone I was dating, how I even got to this building where I live was under his telling me I should move there. See, as I said, an organized, highly structured group. It takes a village, ladies and gentlemen. The covenant's basically like a village, right? That's what it is, like a village, this covenant. On top of this covenant being like the village it is. As I said, it would have had to been a lover that introduced me to the building that I also now live in, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I am Wise One Teach. I go by the name T, and that is the lesson of the day when it comes to covenant. Bye now.